Good afternoon, good evening, good morning if you're watching this in the morning. This is CloudChartist with your weekly Ichimoku wrap-up for the week ending September 23rd. This is Sunday afternoon, the 25th, and we're going to get started with the ES. Looking at the ES, we see that this is a sort of bigger picture. Let me zoom in so we can look more closely at last week's candle. So we see that last week we blasted up over the flat Tenkan-sen and actually closed over the Tenkan-sen. So we're back into fully bullish territory for the ES. We do have a bit of a topping tail, so we're going to see whether or not we can maintain the bullish status. The Tenkan-sen is flat at 21.4588, so look for that to act as support if we do get some selling. If we do get below that level, then we will be back into this range between the flat Tenkan-sen and the flat Kijun-sen below. You notice the week before we came down and found support at this gap window. I've talked about gap windows in Ichimoku many times in my videos before, and if you want to learn about gap windows, I'm happy to teach you about gap windows anytime. So if we do continue in the uptrend, then we can expect all of these other areas to act as potential resistance. So keep an eye on the levels of the previous opens and closes for all of these candles, especially this 2166.50 level seems important, and then back to this like around 2179. 25 area. All right, let's move along to some other indexes like the Russell. Russell was quite bullish and kind of leading last week. We see that it also closed above the Tenkan-sen, a little bit less of a topping tail nonetheless. But back into fully bullish territory. If we do get selling, we can look for support at that 1229.70 level of the flat Tenkan-sen. Let's look at the Nasdaq. Nasdaq chart was already bullish last week, but continued to be bullish. Put in a bit of a doji type candle, spinning top type candle. Could suggest a potential for a change of trend to the downside. We would need a lower high and a lower low to confirm that. If we do find selling, then we do have support at the Tenkan-sen, which is currently at 47.5875. Could be in a different location when the markets reopen in just about a half hour from when I'm recording this video. All right, let's look at the Dow. Oops, pardon me. Spastic clicking. The Dow was unable to get a close above the flat Tenkan-sen, so it's back into this range between the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen. Tenkan-sen being at 18,223 and the Kijun-sen being down at 17,792. If we do put in a close above the Tenkan-sen, then we can expect a retest of these highs to ensue. Let's look at gold. Gold actually did manage to close above the Tenkan-sen, so still a very nice looking bull flag here, and back into fully bullish territory with a close above the Tenkan-sen, the Tenkan-sen being at 1339.90 and the close being at 1341.10. Let's look at, so we do see that since the Tenkan-sen and the Kijun-sen are both flat, we're looking for some more sideways action, consolidation before we get a move either up or down. Let's get silver. Pardon my fibs, if you will. Silver, we also got to close above the flat Tenkan-sen, so back into fully bullish territory for silver. You know, we're still have this large flat cloud below here, quite a ways down, and then we do in the future, starting in October, have a rising cloud to offer support at higher levels for silver. Back into fully bullish territories. Let's look at some treasuries. This is ZB. So we did get an outside candle. We put in a lower low, I believe, and a higher high. So we could get a trend change to the upside, but we would need a higher high and a higher low to confirm that trend change. If we do continue higher, we are going to have resistance at the Kijun Sen at 169.05, and then at the Tenkan Sen at 169.17 above. We do have some gap windows also to act as support and resistance, so if we start trading these ranges, we will have some good levels to work with up here. And if we do get selling, we should again find support at this magical level at 164.13ish, where we did get these tweezer bottoms coming into support there. That's when the Chikou over here, this red line representing price action time shift to 26 periods into the past, came into the Tenkan Sen. We note that the Tenkan Sen is rising, so the Chikou, if we do get selling, could come into support at a higher level at around 165.20. So that level, which is actually right where these two candles reversed, rather than this level down here, could offer support. Let's look at ZN, the 10-year. 10-year putting in a confirmed reversal off the cloud, off the bounce off last week's cloud. Hammer type candle, looks like we could come up and test the flat Tenkan Sen above at 131.150. We do have a bear cross, however. The Kijun Sen will also offer resistance at 131.190, so that's 4 ticks above the Tenkan Sen. If we do get selling, we'll likely again find support when the Chikou finds support at the Tenkan Sen, which is around the 131.75 level, and then support also at the cloud down here at 129.270. Let's look at the dollar. Dollar's still doing this big, crazy, confusing bull flag type pattern, and still also in a shorter time frame. In a more close-up view, still moving sideways underneath this flat cloud in this range between the Tenkan Sen and the Kijun Sen. So if we find more selling, we can look for support at 94.75 at the Kijun Sen below. And if we get a move to the upside, the Tenkan Sen is going to offer resistance at 95.835, and then the cloud above that at 96.56. Oh, geez, I forgot crude. Actually, let's stay zoomed out a little bit. So we do see, I recognize this as a bottoming type pattern for crude. Looks like an inverse head and shoulders. Crude loves to make inverse head and shoulder bottoming patterns, and sometimes they're frequently kind of messy. This one is also. We also have some triangulation going on in the most recent weeks, like since the spring. Obvious upper and lower trend lines, and I drew these trend lines from shorter time frames, so there would be actually points hitting them that you can't see here. But so currently, last week's candle did close above the top of the cloud here, just barely, but it did close above the top of the cloud. And also you notice that it is finding support at the Kijun Sen at 43.46. If we do get some selling back under the top of the cloud at 44.32, which is entirely likely, we could come down and test this bottom trend line. That would be at around 41, let's see, around 41.70, 41.68, something like that. Geez, I remember that that important 41.68 level from the past was key. Anyway, if we do get upward momentum on crude, we could take a peek at this upper trend line as potential resistance at approximately 47.77. We also will have resistance when the Chikou, this red line here, comes into the top of the cloud, and that's going to, I'm sorry, at the bottom of the cloud, and that's going to be around 46.84. So even lower, and actually you see these last two candles did find resistance at that level also. This one at 46.51 and this one at 46.55. let's see. Let's look at corn for fun. I haven't looked at it lately. So corn did actually put in a close above the Tenkan-sen. So as long as it stays above the Tenkan-sen, it's a little less bearish than it could be if it was under the Tenkan-sen, I guess. Still under the cloud. So still fully bearish for corn. I heard that cocoa was making some interesting moves. Haven't looked at that lately either. Yeah, so cocoa confirmed the reversal last week after this really strong selling momentum, and then put in a strong bounce last week. Came all the way up to the flat Tenkan-sen here at 29.32 and got rejected pretty hard, putting in a close more than halfway down the candle. So this type of candle is sort of a gravestone type candle, suggests that we could get a reversal back to the downside. So I might be looking for lower prices in cocoa. I think I'll leave it there, make it a short video for this week. If you're interested in learning more about Ichimoku, I do run a chat room. Most of you already know about this. You can visit my website at CloudChartist.com if you're interested in signing up. Feel free to contact me on Twitter or at CloudChartist@gmail.com if you want more information. And I hope that you all have a good week, and hopefully we will have some good price action, and everyone will be happy and healthy. Thanks for watching, and take care.